just how he wins. And so Evan was on Tyler Lockett big time. And I think, it's going to keep flipping and flopping. They're going to be like, oh, we need to guard DK Metcalf. We need to guard Tyler Lockett. I mean, I'm still optimistic about DK Metcalf having some huge games this year. It's just so so efficient when you're catching passes from Russell Wilson.
Yeah, that's exactly how he was used at Ole Miss.
Yep.
He only played on one side of the field, only played on the left side of the field. And he just run goes and the occasional screen. And, that's what he did. And I kind of like that the Seahawks are doing that. They're like, we're not going to ask you to do anything different. We're going to ask you to do what you are comfortable doing because we've got other versatile players. Will Dissly, by the way, coming up for them, huge. But Tyler Lockett, I mean, he had 17, 18 PPR points this last game, career high, 10 catches. It was kind of tilting that he didn't break any of those for a big play because that's what Tyler Lockett does. I mean, he was 17 yards per catch last season. But he ate kind of like we anticipated. And he had even despite not breaking a big play, had a big fantasy day in the box score. But yeah, Russell Wilson, that was one of the best games I have ever seen him play. That's not even exaggerating. Next Gen Stats had him getting the ball out in 1.8 seconds, the fastest time that they have recorded in an individual game since 2016. He was just on point, ripping up that man coverage defense of the Steelers.
Okay, the team that everybody wants to talk about is the Tampa Bay Bucks because a lot of people are rostering O.J. Howard on their season-long team, and O.J. Howard has only run a route on 45 of Jameis Winston's 75 dropbacks. Cameron Brate has run a route on 31. And so Bruce Arians doesn't use tight ends. Twitter, Evan, is out there taking victory laps. They're saying, we win. You see, we knew it. Bruce Arians doesn't use his tight end. O.J. Howard isn't being targeted, isn't running routes. What do we have to say to the O.J. Howard owners right now?
I mean, O.J. Howard just played like crap. In the first game, he lost a fumble in the end zone. He dropped a pass. He got a penalty. He finished with 32 yards on 5 targets. And then on the quick turnaround, going to the Thursday, I mean, they don't have time to game plan. They do one walkthrough before the game. He wasn't involved in the passing game plan. And Jameis Winston did not have a lot of attempts. It was like a Peyton Barber game. So when you understand what all led up to that, you can understand that why O.J. Howard was a 0 in week 2. I think that what you do with him in week 3 is if you can't find a better option, I don't know, going off the top of my head, I mean, I'd probably look at Will Dissly over him.
No,
I'd start Darren Waller over him. Vance McDonald was a guy that might have been dropped by some, fickle owners in week 1. I would certainly pick him back up. We talked about how he was very, very likely to bounce back in that week 2 game. I don't know. That's just probably weak suggestions going off the top of my head. Read the matchups column for sure for any ideas. But I think that you just treat him as a boomer bust guy right now because he's on kind of in the doghouse a little bit. I mean, that's how Bruce Arians has talked about him. He's got to play better or else we're not going to involve him in the passing game when he's fumbling the ball into the end zone. I mean, it's not like O.J. Howard isn't a talented guy. That's not in doubt. It's just he's played like shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I would disagree. I'm more likely to go down with the ship. I would play O.J. Howard at home against the Giants over Will Dissly and probably over Darren Waller. But I've been prone to get too stubborn with guys that I liked before the season. But yeah, I think, on a long week, they're going to find a way to get O.J. Howard more involved. Speaking of a long week, we got a lot of questions from people that want to know if Jameis is still going to be a viable starting quarterback going forward. Again, long week, home against the Giants. This would be a prime spot to me for Jameis and this past game to really have a pop-off game. I would be sticking with Jameis. What do you think, Evan?
Yeah, I mean, the situation with O.J. Howard is just I am willing to kind of give a guy a wait-and-see week on my bench and try something else. And then if the dude, shows up with good usage and good production, I don't kick myself for benching him. I'm just okay, I'm going to roll with him the next week. That's kind of my process in situations like that. With Jameis, it's still kind of like he's on the fringe still. Just because there are so many good quarterback options. And we have all of them at our disposal. I mean, we have not even hit any bye weeks yet. So he's fringy, and I mean, you're certainly not playing him over like Dak Prescott or Russell Wilson or anybody like that. So it just comes down to your options. Pat Thorman, we have one of the best rankers in the business. He's really going to help you be able to sort through all that. I mean, he's finished top 5 in Fantasy Pros rankings in 3 of the past 5 years.
Yep. Okay. By the way, Evan, before we move to the Washington, the last team, I did want to note that Chris Godwin is now more expensive on both DraftKings and FanDuel than Mike Evans. Just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, I mean, like last week, I just wanted to say I was the first one to let everybody know that Chris Godwin was actually the Bucs' best receiver.
Okay. The Washington Redskins. I mean, there's not a lot to say here. I mean, Terry McLaurin looks like a legit, very good player, and he is being used in a way that if he had better quarterback play and better scheming and just a better offense around him, he's being used in a way that would be very exciting. All that said, it's still going to be a week-to-week battle for Terry McLaurin just because he plays for the Redskins. That's about all I had on them. Anything on the Redskins?
It was fun. The early Adrian Peterson touchdown was fun, but it got ugly real quick. And now playing the Bears, no thanks.
All right. That is going to do it for this NFC Team by Team podcast. The AFC version will be on the site, Establish.The.Run.com. Will not be on iTunes, so go over to Establish.The.Run.com, check it out, and we will see you there, hopefully. For Evan, for producer Luke, for Jerry barking like a maniac at the mailman today, I am Adam. Good luck, everybody.